Coming up in this video, you're going to see how two out-of-control drivers double punt me and almost end my race before it began. Dead Ideal Boy here, back with another video. This time we're jumping into Daily Race C at Daytona in Group 3, and we've got a couple of very notable names in this lobby. YouTubers Wombleleader and EERIEISSSS, aka Rory Alexander, both racing, both live streaming at the time, so about 1,000 people watching, I reckoned, in that region, well, somewhere in that region anyway. So that means there's pressure, and this was my first race of the week. Now, me and pressure don't mix, and this was going to be a big test for me, and I decided I was going to just see how I stood up to that sort of pressure test. But while you've got you here, you've clicked on the video, why not just click on the subscribe button if you've not already subscribed. Hit the like button, help us reach the road to 10,000 subscribers. It's a possibility one day, maybe, who knows. But anyway, as you can see, we're going to get off to, well, quite a, let's just say, careful start, because this turn one has the stuff of nightmares, and we're just going to stay to the outside and hope for the best, just trying not to get involved. You can see how close it is. Radar is essential in this race, and coming up here for the tight right-hander again, keeping an eye on the radar. People like to send it up here. We're just hoping to survive. Somebody's already dropped right back there, and we've picked up a position. So starting in P9, as I said, we've got EERIEISSSS in P6 now, Wombleleader in P5, and this was the thing. This was a sort of mini YouTube battle, I suppose you could say. I've been doing YouTube for a little while now, so has Wombleleader, and so has Rory, so it's very, very rare actually that we actually all find ourselves in the same lobby, in the same race. I can't really remember the last time it happened, so this was going to be hopefully a fun one. And in my head, I was thinking, well, maybe we can see if we can come out victorious in this mini YouTube battle. But the main thing is surviving the first couple of laps in this race. And survival is absolutely essential through the bus stop, because a penalty is so easy to pick up. And we're going to go through the bus stop, but we're going to get absolutely dive bombed, punted, and again, our race almost ruined there by the German, who just breezed on through. He actually sticks his hazard lights on there to say sorry, but, well, sorry is quite easy to say when you've just absolutely just ploughed into the side of someone and drove away. But we'll call it an accident, we'll call it a missed braking, and I can understand his logic of just driving on, giving me the slipstream, so yeah, we're not going to be too concerned about that. It is annoying though, because we've dropped back to P9 now, but what was more annoying was this. Hit once, then hit again, in quick succession, and we just managed to keep the car out of the tyres there and get back on track, only for the loss of 2 positions, but quite a big gap now to the pack. That was really quite frustrating, because I didn't see that one coming at all. I was looking at the radar and I saw the guy in P9 now. He was the perpetrator. I saw him making an ambitious move up the inside, and I don't understand how he lost control. As you see, is getting punted again, and we just about keep it off the grass, because if we'd ended up in the grass there, that would have been race over. Now the guy in front has got a 3-second penalty, which made me suspicious of whether or not it was him that had hit me or not, but I wasn't sure, so I couldn't go all gung-ho on him. I was just going to have to just accept what had happened to me. I was now sitting in P13, battling for P14, 13, we're right next to each other. It was honestly one of the worst starts to a race I can remember having. I'd started in P9, briefly got to P8, and now found myself almost in dead last, way back down to 13th position. And my two fellow YouTubers, Wombleleader and Rory, are off into the distance now, which was kinda the main frustration, because I really wanted to have a good race with them, have a battle, see what we could have got out of it. But I was at the point now of, do I pit, maybe just get out of this and just rage pit, do I just quit the race? There was all sorts of thoughts going through my head, but I decided I would stick it out, and we'll see what we can salvage from this race. And salvage operation is not something that I'm particularly good at, mainly because I get quite disheartened if things go wrong in a race. So as I said, it was very, very easy. It would have been very easy for me just to hit the quit button, rage quit, get out of it, chalk it up to experience. A couple of, well, I'm not going to say dirty drivers, but certainly out of control drivers, basically making life very, very difficult for me for the rest of this race anyway. But we're up to P11. A couple of people have now went into the pits. There was the guy with the massive penalty. He ended up picking up a 6-second penalty, so he's away into the pits, and we've at least got that position back. And trying to just to keep in the slipstream of the guy ahead, that was going to be key, but he's also got the slipstream of the guy in front of him, so it makes it, well, it was just going to make it very difficult to try and make any massive inroads into him. But we're not going to give up. We're going to plough on, because you must be thinking, he's made a video out of this race, so something must happen in it. And well, you're not wrong, because this race does start to get quite, well, the interest builds on it quite some way as the race progresses. You can see here, we're still desperately trying to stay in that slipstream of 1.5 seconds just to try and pull ourselves back towards the pack, get into any sort of a race. But I did realise it was going to be a very, very difficult task. You can see there somebody else has went into the pits. It's the German who dive bombed me at the bus stop on lap 1. But we're going to skip forward now and all the way forward to lap 6, because more people were starting to pit and we were now up to P3. You can see here we've done some solid laps without any real slipstream. We're just sort of really consistently getting in the low 45s, and I think that was really going to be well, that was crucial basically in being able to get through the laps that we were attempting to do in order to build ourselves back up and get into the slipstream and all that kind of thing. We knew that we had to keep doing low 45s, get into the pits, and hopefully come out of the pits near the pack. You can see the pit crew working absolutely rapidly here. Look how quick these guys are going. That is a pit stop if ever I've seen one. And out we come. And you can see the pack just going past there. So are we in the slipstream? That's the crucial point. We're just outside it. So we come back out in P11 and we're just outside the slipstream. Again, the finger was hovering over the quit button. And you can see there 1.8 seconds. And they've all got each other's slipstream. So unless an almighty battle was about to break out, this was going to be extremely difficult to get close to these guys. But like I said, there's a reason I made this video, and you can see here they are getting close and they are starting to get a little bit feisty. They're going to start battling, hopefully. You can see though they're all in a train up there at the moment, and I'm just ever so close, but just outside that slipstream. If I could just get into that slip, get into that battle, we can see if there's anything there for us. Skipping forward now onto the penultimate lap, and as you can see, we've managed to close the gap. We have got well into the slipstream, because they all did have a little bit of a battle, and my consistency, which is not something I'm famed for, helped me get onto the back of this pack. So all of a sudden we've got an outside chance, and I know for a fact just up ahead we've got Rory Alexander. Here he is in this pack. So the battle, the unofficial battle of YouTube might not all be lost. I think Wombleleader is way down the pack. Well, he's away down the I think he's up in P4 or something at this point. So he's clinched it as far as I'm concerned. But there's still the kudos of maybe finishing ahead of Rory. That was kind of what was going through my mind at the moment. He'd been obviously streaming and driving this track relentlessly for a couple of days. This was my first real attempt at it, so if I could get close, that would be something of a feather in the cap. You can see here 3 wide round turn 1, and this is playing nicely into my hands. I'm just sitting here, bit of a vulture, just waiting to see if I can pounce. Now the German in front, he's the guy that dive bombed me into the bus stop in lap 1, so I've got to be wary about him in case his unpredictability just comes back to strike here. See here, going round the left-hander. He's just going to drift wide. He's onto the grass and he's going to come straight across. And if you saw on the radar how close he was to wiping me out. But there we've got in front of us, Rory's now battling with a Danish driver, and we're going to take to the grass, go around the outside, overtake both of them in the one move, and all of a sudden we're up to P8. We've got past Rory and we're now onto the back straight. Now this, I'm not going to lie, at this point my hands were gripping this wheel. I couldn't believe I'd salvaged something of a result out of this. I started in P9, remember. We found ourselves all the way back down to P14 at one point, and now we're back up at P8, and this wasn't a slow lobby, this was a decent lobby, some decent drivers in here, and into the bus stop we go. We can see somebody up ahead has got a penalty. It's actually one of the guys who punted me at that turn 1, and it would be really, really nice if I could get past this guy. You can see here he's having a little battle with the guy behind, and I'm going to obviously close in, but whether or not I can catch him in time as he's going to serve his penalty. You can see Rory's still behind us. I think we've got away from him. The penalty's being served. We're going to come up and we're just going to run out of track. Over the line we come and we get the P8. Now, as I said at the beginning, that was a comeback race for me. That just doesn't normally happen. I normally just rage quit out of these things. You can see in the chat here, one of the guys that was out of control and punted me said he tried to avoid you the best I could. Now, we'll look at the replay and we'll see if he could. Now, this was the punt at the bus stop by the German who just sailed on past after committing the atrocity. As you can see, like I said, the hazard lights go on. That's him saying sorry, so fair enough, we'll let him off here. But look at this one here. This is the guy who apologised in the lobby. I don't know what he was thinking, going up the inside and taking to the grass. Similarly, the guy behind who also punted me, you can see there, over the grass, loses control, hits me, and then drives off as if nothing's happened, which is fair enough. But here's the guy behind, he also took to the grass. Now, why these two guys decided to go into turn 1 and try and go across the grass is unknown to me. He picked up a 3-second penalty. The game obviously decided he hit me hardest. You can see here, we then get knocked off onto the grass here. Now, this was an accident. He slows down to wait for me, and in the process of slowing down to wait for me, the guy who hit me and got a 3-second penalty makes slight contact with the car as it was slowing down. He wasn't obviously expecting it to be slowing down, and he picks up another 3-second penalty. So he's got 6 seconds worth of penalties, and that, my friend, is absolute race-ending stuff. You can see here, this was the German then in the last lap where he went off the track and almost wiped me out after almost killing me at the bus stop. This was Rory and the Dane. They were both getting into it. A little bit of door banging, a little bit of side swiping, and there's me sailing on by round the outside on the grass and getting the double move done. Now, despite being punted 4 times in that race in the first 2 laps alone, this turned out to be an absolute banger of a race, and one that I thoroughly enjoyed, and dare I say it, took 2nd position in the mini YouTube battle. Well, we'll call that 2nd place for me anyway, but it had everything and I thoroughly enjoyed it, like I said. But I hope you did as well. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all on the next one. Goodbye.